Hi everyone, Flower from the Blockchain Game Alliance. Very happy to be with you today for our usual demo day. The demo we like to do every month, inviting our members to showcase their games, their platform, the services they have, to try to understand a little bit better what's behind the wheel, I would say. So we're very happy to have, we should have 2 members today, and at least we have Gadi from Just a Lab. Ready to present, ready to showcase. So Gary, whenever you're ready, take it over. The mic is yours. As soon as I see your screen, I can show it to everyone.
All right, amazing. Thank you, Fluff, for that. Hey, everyone. Let me start by sharing my screen, and then I'll give a small intro over what we do. Is it visible now?
It is now. Yeah, you're ready.
All right, amazing. My name is Gadi. I'm the co-founder and CTO at Just a Lab. So at Just a Lab, what we specialize in is building developer tooling to make developer experience easier, and at the same time benefiting the user by offering them a better user experience, where we try to abstract as much as possible the complexities that come with with this blockchain technology that we're all working in, while at the same time keeping the exposure to its benefits. To do that, we launched recently our latest product called JoyID, and it's an identity-centric smart account infrastructure. So what that means is that it allows any developer to issue account abstraction accounts that come with identity ENS names from day one in a very, very easy setup. So for most use cases, the setup should take a couple of minutes to be done with, and then the user should be able to have a much better user experience where they will be able to sign in with Passkeys. So that is the Touch ID, Face ID. They will be able to pay gas fees in stable coins and much more advanced workflows that we'll see in a second. But before going into the core demo of today, I'll show a bit what the stack looks like. So for anyone looking to integrate Joe, that can be done in different ways. One is the WAGMI connector for people that already are familiar with the WAGMI library. So we offer a connector out of the box so that the existing hooks work directly. Same goes for people that have integrated wallets via the 1193 EIP provider pattern. So that is what I'll be showing today. And because this allows for a more flexibility in terms of integration. So this playground was set up just to show builders, for example, from their end, how the integration should look like, while at the same time allow them to play around a bit to see what's the user experience going to look like. And before I start, I should also mention that we also allow for a lower level API. Which is better suited for headless implementation for people that don't want necessarily UI UI integrations on their end, and they would want to handle the UI and are looking only for functionality. They would be using that. So let's get started. There is also 2 modes that Joe comes in. So there's the cross-platform mode and the app-specific mode. The cross-platform mode allows to issue wallets that can be reused across different applications, while app-specific is only bounded to the app itself. The configuration is super simple. It's a couple lines of code where you just get your API key, the app name, app logo URL, and then the ENS domain if you're looking to issue usernames to your users. Those are on-chain usernames that are interoperable, that can be used across different applications in the Web3 ecosystem, and that are multi-chain as well. For example, to connect the wallet, it's as simple as just these 3 lines of code, like getting the provider and then calling the request. So what the user would see is essentially this. So users will be prompted to choose between either an account that they have already created. For example, these accounts I have already used on my laptop right here. So that would have been saved directly here. Or if I have created it, for example, on my mobile phone, and my mobile phone and my laptop are using the same cloud, for example, that can be iCloud or Google Cloud, I can just go ahead and click on that, and I will be able to choose between the different accounts that I already have. Or I can just go ahead and create a new account. So we'll do that just to show how that looks like. So I'll just call this BGA demo. I'll be prompted to sign with my fingerprint, and it's as easy as that. I just had my account created. It's an on-chain account with my ENS name directly created as well. So I'll just choose a different account because I have another one that is funded. So we'll just go over the same flow again and log in this time. So if we use this one, I should already.
What I see is, so you show .id, which is an ENS, even if you don't have the .eth, which is okay, but you can actually guide us into that. Like you can customize the destination of the kind of address you're going to have depending on the game you have, or you still have to stick with the .eth address.
No, exactly. That's the cool thing about DNS, is that any DNS that is icon compatible. So, for example, your .com, .xyz, .co, .id, all of these are compatible with DNS. So everything, all you have to do is just like import it into ENS, and it will be directly compatible with our system. So you'll be able to issue your usernames whatever domain you choose.
Okay, sounds good. Sorry, continue.
No, please. Okay, so I'll just use this because it's easier for me now than to encode the call data from scratch. But this essentially what it does is I am trying to transfer USDC. Okay, so this too is the contract address of USDC, and then this data is just saying like transfer this amount of USDC to this address. And just to go through this quickly, I'll just reuse this a couple of times. So we should be able to prompt this to sign on multiple calls at the same time. So that's a batch calls in a single transaction. And also you'll be able to see that we support multiple chains, with more coming soon. But for now, we'll stay on base Sepolia. This is where the demo is happening. And this is how it looks like from a developer's perspective in terms of a code snippet. So if we go ahead and execute that, you'll see here that we're also decoding the call data so that the user also can see something like really familiar to what they would usually see. So I'll know that I'm doing these different calls. And if this contract of USDC was named on base Sepolia as well, it would have shown as an ENS name similar to how it's showing me from which account I'm sending and to whom I'm sending it to. You'll also notice here that I'm paying the gas fees in USDC. So that is dependent on the network. We support multiple ways of paying for gas fees. Some networks might have USDC, USDT, the native token, and more coming soon. So I'll just go ahead and transact. And that essentially will only ask me to sign in with my fingerprint, and then that's it. There is no servers operated by us. This is all pure self-custody. The signature that gets directly verified on-chain in our smart contracts. So this returned an ID for me that I can just go and query to make sure that the transaction went through, and it actually did. This is the transaction hash. If we go now to, for example, Sepolia.basescan, you'll be able to see that I sent 0.1 USDC 3 times to the same address. This can be any arbitrary call. We just use this now to make it easier. And this is how I paid my gas fees in USDC. So this is really the easiest setup with Joe. So that is usually what you would get with any application where you want to just send funds. Like your user should be onboarded easily and very quickly. So as you saw now, we just onboarded with a simple Touch ID. And the user should be able to transact also very simply. So that is by just depositing USDC, and then from there being able to transact everywhere. So that's like your most basic flows. But we also support more advanced workflows where this user will be able to delegate permissions to a separate spender to to basically call contracts, like specific functions on contracts on its behalf, while having a threshold of how much can be spent. So what does this mean is, for example, I'll be able to go to an application, allow it to spend, for example, 100 USDC on my behalf per month. So that would allow me to have a subscription flow while I still have custody of my assets, but the transaction can be triggered by a separate entity. So I don't have to go every end of the month and like trigger the transaction myself to send these funds.
It does sound, let me know, and you are the master of everything regarding that, but it does sound like something you want to set up for an AI agent, having custody of your, yeah, okay.
Yes,
cool.
this is exactly it. This is exactly it. So like this can also translate in terms of an AI agent executing advanced DeFi strategies on your behalf. So this is definitely feasible. So you would allow an AI agent, for example, to only lend on Aave, only swap on Uniswap, and do X on a different protocol, while allowing it to spend 10 USDC per day, and then it would run the DeFi execution on your behalf without you knowing anything, and then you should be expecting like a specific APY that this AI agent is promising you. And this also translates really well in terms of gaming, and this is what like the second part of the demo that I'll be showing now, where as a user I'll be able to jump in a game, like just set up my account for the first time, give permissions to this game to have like what we call an access key or a session key, for example. That is a temporary key that will be able to spend on my behalf for like the duration of the session during the game. So this is what this demo is about. So here you'll see when I sign up, it will prompt me to choose again. Like this could have been also accounts that are only specific to this game itself, but I chose to go with the cross-platform mode, which are reusable accounts between platforms. So after having been connected, you'll see that the ENS name is used also as gamer tag. And that's the cool part, where also the ENS name, you'll be able to add anything to the text records of the ENS name that allows, for example, if I'm playing between two games, I can even have my details and everything, or description or anything like that, that can be shared between all of these games by using a portable identity, which is the ENS name in that case. If I go ahead and click on start a new session, what's happening behind the hood is that inside the local storage of the web app, I'm storing a new private key. So this private key is completely separate. We do not necessarily care about it. So this private key, what is getting permissions to spend 2 USDC on my behalf for an hour, and then that's it. If it cannot spend more than that, and when the hour expires, like it won't be able to spend anymore. And that's why like just storing it in the local storage is fine, because even if like later on anyone discovers this private key is useless because it doesn't have any funds on it or anything like that. It will get replaced with the new session essentially. So if I go ahead and sign that, I'm just now delegating these permissions. This will just take a second. There you go. And now when I'm back, if I go ahead and, for example, I can just click, every click, what it's doing here is gonna be costing me it's spending 0.1 USDC on my behalf. Now it's not a super fun game to play because you can only lose money. But the end goal here is just to show, for example, that now my balance should be decreasing by 0.8 USDC, which just happened right now because I clicked eight times. And if I go ahead and do that again, and I'll stop at 20, which is the maximum that I should be able to spend. So we started at 30, we started at 29, sorry. And this is where like the 2 transactions just passed right now. And if I go ahead and do one more click, it shouldn't allow me to do that. So let me just show you what this private key that I was talking about right now looks like. So this is the one here, the access key. And if I keep this open and go ahead now and click the 21st time, this is gonna fail because I just gave it allowance to spend 2 USDC on my behalf. So I should have added a start new session button. Sorry about that. So now if I click on start new session, this starts with 0x41. So if I click on start a new session, this should get replaced now with the new session key. And this is what makes the system secure, is that like we do not necessarily care about this private key. This private key doesn't even need to be funded. It will just like, it needs to have like a paymaster flow set up just to like pay for the transactions that are happening. And me as a user, I just know that I gave it permissions to spend 2 USDC, and then that's it. I can just go ahead and play the game without ever having to worry about anything.
So what is interesting through that is,
yeah. I think your voice cut off.
Yeah. Sorry for that. Yeah. What I was saying is, what is interesting on that point is you actually putting limits in terms of how much you can spend and for how long, which actually refers to what Jonum in France is actually doing and asking everyone to do. So it feels like the kind of mechanics you're doing is actually going online with the regulation expected in a specific country, which is France. So that looks very interesting. Just wanted to flag that because it's exactly what they're asking everyone to do. So you're actually doing that by creating a private key per session, right?
Yes, that's correct. And everything is like verified on chain or like applied on chain if you want. So like there is no way to bypass that or anything like that. Okay. So yeah.
I used to ask the team, so the Just a Lab team, when we have a comp session around that, because I feel like not everyone is aware of it, but obviously ENS is definitely very well known, but not by everyone. But how will you explain that it is very important to base your product based on ENS specifically and the capabilities of what ENS provides?
That's a really good question. So I think like in terms of if we're taking ENS just to be the bare bone of replacing the address with the human readable name, this is already like a huge advantage that for applications that implemented, because at the end of the day, your user doesn't want to see a long hexadecimal address, so that will scare them off. Or even like if it doesn't, then there is like a big possibility that they will have misplaced fonts because of that. If you just copy one character that is missing, fonts will go away, and there's no easy way to do that. Like there's no easy way to make sure that you're copying a correct address. So usernames already make a lot of sense there. And then at the same time, like this username, this ENS name is multi-chain. So like there is no excuse to, for example, any chain that you're operating on, you'll be able to leverage the capabilities of ENS there. So that is really at a very basic level for ENS, but then you can take it into, you can turn it into a digital passport that travels with you across applications. So as a user, instead of having to fill my information, my profile information every time on a new application that I'm onboarded in, I just fill it inside my ENS name, and the application can fetch that directly from my ENS name and have all of this information without having me to go through another onboarding step. And like from there, the advantages compound, and like the use cases are unlimited when you start leveraging these text records where you can store anything inside of it, and like you can even go to another step where you can prove, for example, that you are human and have like this proof that travels with you across applications, so that the app will know how to differentiate between and this is especially relevant today in like the new agentic world, where you need to know when you have a human that is interacting with your protocol or application, or if it's an AI agent, and the ENS can actually provide this value for you.
Yeah, no, you're exactly that, and I know that as for every new technology, standards are very important, like MP3, MP4, .wav, and everything. And from that, you can rely on something that everyone is using. It seems like ENS is willing to be the digital identity layer for everyone, so that makes a lot of sense to rely on that for sure. So, how last question, how what would be the best way for everyone developing a game or an application to learn more about your stack and how to use it?
I think that would be like we're always open for anyone to reach out to us. We're more than happy to help. We have a Telegram chat also set up for anyone looking for help that can join us there. I'll be able to send. Is it best if I send the links here or if I send them on the BGA chat on Telegram?
So I wonder if you can send it here specifically from the tool,
Mhm.
but if you want to send it to me, I can send it to everyone. I already sent the link JoyID. So if you have
Mhm.
any other one, you tell me. But if you want another links to be shared, you just share it with me, and I will share it with the audience.
That would be amazing. I think what we can do more than that, since like most of the things are accessible via Joe directly via the website of Joe, what
Yeah.
I'll share now is our X handle and the Telegram chat, the
Okay.
support chat, so that if anyone is looking for help, they can join us there, and
Sounds good.
we'll be more than happy to do that.
Perfect. Awesome. And perfect timing as Aaron was joining us at the same time. But Gary, thanks a lot for the session. If there is anything, okay, perfect. I got your link here. I'm going to share it
Yeah.
with everyone. But obviously, for the BJ members connected here, you have contact from Gadi, and all the team at Just a Lab as well. So if you have any question, please fire your question on the main Telegram group. And yeah, thanks a lot, Gadi, for the presentation, for the demo. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me, Flav.
Thank you, and welcome, Aaron. How are you?
Hey, I'm okay. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. As far as I can see, you are ready to show your screen as well, which is something I just displayed for everyone. So whenever you're ready, the stage is yours.
Great. So I'll just quickly explain about my game. It's called ChessX. It's in early access on iOS right now. We're a completely bootstrapped company, very lean. It's just me as the only employee. We have contractors, and we're also developing our own agents to scale the company. That's actually where I'm putting most of my time right now. It's pretty exciting for everything. But in terms of the game, it's a free-to-play game with light blockchain rewards. So what that means is the free-to-play aspect is there's a meta journey that players can pay to go faster. Those are regular fiat payments, which is where the revenue comes from. And then the blockchain components are these pieces that you're collecting, which are kind of like AI-powered chess pieces, are NFTs. They're not like limited, but they can be upgraded over time, and that takes time or money. So they become more scarce at higher levels. And then we also plan to have our own token, which is how we sort of like express value and tie our community and our investors, our developers together with a single token. And we buy back and burn our token with post-operational fiat revenues. So that's the basic cycle. The idea is to reward people for engagement, not wins, because it's too easy to cheat, and create sort of like a virtuous cycle with education and distributing our rewards with this buyback and burn mechanism. Yeah, and so the way that the game works is it's PvP. So you're going through this linear journey, and you're collecting and deploying AI pieces to help you. So it's for beginners, but it can also help people up to a certain level. We want to start with the target of 1800 blitz at the high end. And we don't have the same AI pieces for black versus white because we don't want learning to become a crutch in any way. So I'm a chess player my whole life. I have learned a little bit, but I don't want to learn from like YouTube videos or have a teacher or anything like that. I also spent the last 16 years in Japan making video games. So this is sort of like a combination of a lot of my different interests. And yeah, that's basically where we're at. So we're scaling now by, because we're 100% bootstrapped. It's a good place to be right now with agentic AI. So I'm also technical enough to start building that stuff. And so where first AI agent is kind of like an AI chief of staff, it's helping me build the Android tester, because like I said, this is only on iOS in early access. We're still focusing on like a vertical slice. And we're starting to get sort of like early retention data and KPIs and things like that. So that's where we are.
I love it. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Aaron. I mean, we discussed about this already. This is exactly the type of game I need for a lot of different reasons. Why? First is I'm very bad at chess and I want to be at least a little bit good. And for me, this kind of game is exactly what I'm looking for. And the only pain point I have, and you actually highlighted that, I'm happy that agentic AI will help with that, is I am not an Apple user, so making it difficult for me to be in. But
I know.
yeah, but yeah, I'm super pumped for that. Let me just switch the
Yeah.
So
that's,
yeah, go ahead.
so my point is that you know, people have been waiting a long time. It's a hard time, you know, for raising traditional funds or for game companies, or let's just say software companies in general. But it's a huge advantage for entrepreneurs right now to move very fast. So I think it's exciting for us. So
what would be the link? Where should we go for Apple users to
we
play the
just
game?
published our white paper,
Okay.
and I think everything, you should probably go to chessx.app.
Okay.
And there you can sign up and also get the contact information is contact if you want to email me.
Okay.
chessx.app. That's the best way to do anything that's like significant in terms of communication. Yeah.
Because for Apple users, you're opening the app in not for everyone, like in
it's on test flight. It's on test flight right now for Apple users. And again, our limitations are mostly things like, you know, repetitive tasks that are taking away from my time. And that's the kind of thing where we're trying to build up probably about 5 agents to help us move faster. And then we'll have a balance of 5 humans and 5 agents. Because I'm not going to fire my humans. That's kind of antithetical to what I want to build. But at the same time, it's sort of impossible to ignore like the potential here. So.
Definitely. So yeah, I am excited. I hope you are excited too. For those who watching about the game, I just put every link in the comment section. So if you want to give it a go, you have both the website and the contact email address. Thanks a lot, Aaron, for that. At some point, we could spend even 15-30 minutes for a specific match, a specific game you would like to have. Like, I would be super happy about that.
No, I think that's a great idea. And I think streaming is another way where we can sort of bootstrap awareness and make it really fun, because people do like to watch. And it's a different type of experience with these AI powers. You know, we could build a live experience where the player is playing as PvP, but the watchers can actually look at the AI powers maybe ahead of time, or, you know, get ideas and then see what they're going to do. There's a huge scope for that kind of thing. But yeah, it's definitely big for beginners. So I think it would be fun to do like beginner versus beginner, like beginner plus AI versus beginner plus AI, and see how people really, you know, our target audience response. So.
What is, I know that the blockchain layer is not yet to be implemented for a lot of good reason. Although yet, I would love you to explain why it does make sense based on what you're going to develop. And I feel like it's based on the reward system you want to put
absolutely. If you go to the website, there's a link to our light paper, and like you'll see there, we say basically it's about this game experience, and the blockchain rewards are really there because they serve the sort of like the core sort of features that we want for this game that aren't possible any other way. One is being able to share and own your pieces and your assets, like especially the ones that you invest time in. That's kind of like a no-brainer, like why I think NFTs just make sense to a lot of people. But we don't limit them or make it sort of like something like that. That's just a feature. So if you get this thing, you can download the app for free. You can get free NFTs, all level 1, as many as you can collect. Leveling up takes time. You know, I have chess pieces that were given to me through multiple generations, and I value those physical pieces. But in the future, as everything goes digital, we want to be able to have that kind of experience. And so, like, I have a daughter, she's playing ChessX. I could see giving her my special pieces, you know, in the future. It makes perfect sense to me. And that's not something we make money on, by the way. It's not related to our revenue model. It's just something that's, I would say, it's fair to players. And then the token is more interesting. you know, public companies or companies that have revenue express their revenue in different ways, usually in dividends. For example, you know, Supercell pays huge dividends to Tencent, who owns them, more than their annual revenue sometimes, which is crazy. But that can be expressed in a lot of different ways. We want to have a hard cap token, these gems that people earn through engagement, and the idea is to reward learning directly. And so everything in the future should be about rewarding, making people better as they are today, because if we do have these incredible agents and AI and something like a UBI, then there's no need to have this cycle between learning and then profiting from your education. It should just be the learning is directly what's valuable. And so like we're trying to kind of design for that future right now.
Love it. Cool. Perfect. So let's make sure to follow up on that and arrange something so we can play a bit the game. But wishing you the best for the next phases of the game, especially with the 5 agent, but also with the release.
Yeah. No, I'm literally trying to get the AI, you know, Android agent to basically scoop up all of our QA tickets and then run them on its own. So should be possible. Yeah.
Great. No, thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate your time for today. It was great to see some of your demos. Obviously, the BGA members, you have access to the contact of all for both of them. If you want to contact them for any reasons, obviously, I'm here as well to help. But wishing you two a good end of the day, beginning of the day, I think for you, Aaron, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, was great to see you. Thanks a lot for that. Have a good day, guys.
Have a good day.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.